Hello, my name is Ashley Smithy and this is my reflection video for Nurse 452 at Purdue Northwest. The Chasing Zero video was quite moving. It is a harsh reminder that accidents do indeed happen, and it can happen to anyone at any time. And that's why videos like that can be so unbelievably hard to watch, because you know those individuals meant no intentional harm, and it started out as another routine day and ended so tragically. It really can be any of us. And I know other nurses watching this video can recall a time they made a mistake or caught themselves before a major mistake happened. I personally can recall several mistakes I have made over the past 15 years in the medical field. One that happened most recently involving grabbing the wrong antibiotic. It was just another shift in the ICU. I pulled a 250cc normal saline bag and the bottled antibiotic from the Pyxis. The Pyxis cabinet towers are big and have many slots filled with critical medications in the ICU. But I didn't think twice about it since it was just an antibiotic that I was pulling. And I'm very familiar with the Pyxis machine itself. It was nothing out of the ordinary, to say. I felt a little rushed because there were other tasks I had to complete before the end of my shift, which was nearing, thankfully. And one of our intensivists comes super early in the morning to do individual rounds with nurses to see how the patient did overnight. You have to be ready when he is ready, or he will track you down to discuss the case. I pulled both meds, closed out the Pyxis, and went into my patient's room. I then cracked the safety seal on the saline solution to mix. I flushed the secondary tubing with the medication, I hung it, and then I connected it to my primary tubing. I thought about manually starting the pump because a family member from another room was now on the phone and I had other tasks to do before I exited the room. I made the choice to scan the antibiotic because I just remembered our manager had just sent out an email talking about scanning percentages and that we need to keep it above 95%. I rolled my eyes and I scanned it knowing that it only probably sent me back 30 seconds, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. As soon as I scanned it, a big red pop-up came up stating this medication is not scheduled and that the patient has an allergy. It's in that moment I realized I didn't pull the right antibiotic bottle out of the Pyxis. I didn't pull out of the cabinet drawer far enough, so I grabbed from a slot before the correct one. And the patient had a high reaction to that specific type of antibiotic I accidentally pulled. Actually, according to the chart, the patient has anaphylactic reactions to the specific type of antibiotic that I pulled. I wanted to die. I wanted to quit. I was mad at myself for being so reckless, and then I was just so unbelievably thankful that I chose to do the right thing and scan the medication. And the truth is, I wasn't in that big of a rush when you compare the time spent scanning the medication to the time and sacrifice it took me to get my nursing license and the experience I had to work so hard for to get into the ICU. It could have all been taken away in a single moment of negligence. While I don't enjoy revealing to you how vulnerable I was in that moment, I know it's a teaching moment. All of these public cases of healthcare workers making mistakes are so unfortunate, but they're valuable lessons that we keep moving forward in a smart and safe direction, and it's important for us to share our stories so we can learn and grow from them. So, what are the takeaways and lasting impressions? Well, I hope that all of you that watch my video heed my warning and truly slow down. Think about what you are about to do, understand why you are doing it, and then recheck. And let me tell you, lawyers are ruthless. They do not care how hard you've worked for your license or the thousands of reasons you could have made that mistake. Lawyers are there to fight for justice, and your feelings are not involved when they fight for the justice of who they are representing. My sister is a defense attorney at one of the most aggressive law firms in our area, and I have asked her how she can be so tough and ruthless and not care about the other party involved. She simply said, "I am not paid to cut the other party a break. I am paid to get a not guilty verdict, and we will do what we have to do to get the jury to give us that result. Emotions of the other party are not a concern whatsoever. That's not how you win cases." So I'd imagine a medical malpractice lawyer would say the same thing and would only focus on gouging the medical facility and you for everything you have to ensure that the most justice was given to the primary victim or the family of the victim. They will make you feel like you are the worst person in the world, like your whole life is a mistake, like you're an intentional, reckless criminal in order to get a verdict they want. They do not care how hard you've worked, the sacrifices you made to get there, the lives you have saved before this, the awards you have won for your excellent care, the extra shifts you have worked to help out your unit, and etc. They want to ensure someone is punished for the mistake made. And the worst part is, your hospital most likely won't fight for you tooth and nail because they created all these safe ways. So if you didn't follow them in one way or another, they don't really have a reason to back you up. And forgive me for using a TikTok reference, but there's a nurse that I follow that just spoke of this not too long ago. But she said it so perfectly. She gave the scenario of making a mistake and going to court for it. The malpractice attorney will ask you if you felt your assignment was unsafe in any way at that time, and that's why you've made the mistake. If you say yes, they will immediately ask you, then why did you choose to take the assignment anyway? What a terrible loophole, isn't it? The excuses of, well, it's always busy here, or there was no one else to help me, we're understaffed, I didn't want to get fired for saying anything or not doing my job. None of those are valid excuses in a courtroom, and they're not valid to the Board of Nursing either. She ended her video with a very powerful statement. She said that you can take your license and get a job anywhere, but you can't get a job anywhere if you don't have your RN license. So I hope this video helped you learn and reminded you to slow down, know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then recheck your work. Thank you.